Nam, welcome. Barbara Badolati here with the iREST Gentle Yoga class. It is actually October 31st, Halloween. I am host sitting and happy to be with all of you. So thank you so much for being here. All right, so what we're going to do with this gentle class is we're going to start in everybody's favorite, which is Shavasana. And I thought we could do that just so that it's nice to settle in and maybe transition from whatever day you've had. So if you can have a mat, maybe a blanket, if you have a bolster, that's great too. I'm not going to use a lot of props because I don't want you running off and having to find things. But in the future, if you continue to attend my classes, especially with iREST being our focus and restorative, it's really nice to have props because it'll help you to be supported and allow the body and the nervous system to relax even deeper. So let's go ahead and lay down on our back. Actually, before we do, let's go ahead and tune in. So with Kundalini, there is Adi Mantra, which is tuning in. If you're not familiar with that, I will share it on the screen. But regardless, this is just the opportunity for you to settle in, to kind of get grounded, and to be able to either call in your guides or ancestors perhaps, or your spirit, your higher self. So go ahead and find a comfortable position. Maybe wiggle around and let the sit bones ground down. You can always sit up on a bolster or a block. And then rub your hands together, create some heat, take a breath through your nose, maybe exhale out through your mouth. So the Adi mantra is Om Namo Gurudev Namo. And when you do the Om, see if you can create like a little bit of vibration through the back of your throat. You'll feel that with the back of the tongue kind of hitting the upper palate. You don't have to do the chant, the mantra, but the mantra and the way that you use your mouth is really powerful. So for you, you might just chant Aum, or maybe love, or another word that brings you into alignment with your true self. So let the palms gently press together, about 10 pounds of pressure. And then let the thumbs gently press into the sternum. Take a nice, yes, I have a black cat on Halloween. Take a nice deep breath in through the nostrils. As you exhale, relax the shoulders and your eyes. You can look up towards the center of your forehead, just letting the eyes flutter a little bit. Breathe in again. Breathe out. And on the next breath, we tune in. Inhale. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. One more time, inhale. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Inhale. As you inhale, gently pull up. In Mula Bandha, that lower chakra area. And then exhale, and as you exhale, slowly release down. Take a moment, and you can sit if you want, or go ahead and come into Shavasana. Take a moment to set your intention. Just notice your breathing, notice how your body feels. If you are going to lay down, bend your knees and roll down one vertebrae at a time. If you want to extend the legs and let the arms rest out alongside the body. And take those nice deep breaths. And allow yourself to notice. See if you can observe, notice without judgment. And if there's any adjustments that need to be made, allow yourself to make those adjustments based on how your body feels, what your breath is like. Maybe deepen the breath, or maybe let out a sigh, and bask in this beautiful place where you get to nurture yourself, where you get to release some thoughts, where you get to exhale out any emotional stress, where you get to connect with your body. And so revel in that for a moment, and then begin to just let your body move a little bit. So you might stretch, or it could just be that you roll your ankles or stretch your toes, or maybe roll your head. Take a moment to play in your organic movement. The organic movement of what feels good and what the next little movement is, and how your body is communicating with those nice deep breaths. Good. And then we're just going to wake it up a little bit more. So do a nice long body stretch, and then reach one side, make it nice and long, maybe even point the foot, and then stretch the other arm and the other leg and make that nice and long. Do that a few more times, just kind of moving from side to side, perhaps, maybe bouncing the legs a little bit. And then slide the knees so they point up, and let the feet rest on the floor or the mat. Extend your arms out like a T, and just roll through the lower back and the hips and the buttocks by moving your knees from side to side. Inhaling through the center, exhaling over to the other side. And if you'd like, you could let the head roll in the opposite direction. So your face is going to look the opposite direction than where your knees are pointing. And when and if you're ready, find that place where you could rest the knees and legs to one side. Maybe your face can look up or over to the opposite direction. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. And maybe stretch the opposite arm, or maybe make some adjustments with your legs or hips. Take another nice deep breath. And as you exhale, let yourself soften somewhere. Maybe it's the shoulders, maybe it's your jaw or your leg. And on your inhale, float the knees back up. Let the arm come into a T position if it isn't already. Allow the other side to float over. Find your breath. Experience this nice long stretch with a nice deep breath. If you want, you could take that arm, the opposite of your legs pointing. Breathe into the side of the body. Breathe out. Good. One more cycle of breath. And as you exhale, relax, relax. Where can you soften and relax? Good. Inhale back to center. And this time as you exhale, see if you can bring both knees or at least one knee into the chest. And your hands could be around the shins or they could be underneath the legs, behind the knees. Allow yourself to just roll a little bit or make a very small circle on the ceiling with your knees. Inhaling and exhaling. And whatever you're doing, slow it down even more. Really slow, like you're kind of moving through mud. Warm mud. And then maybe your toes or your ankles can be a little bit involved too. And then find a place where you can just hold it. Maybe your legs are separated. Maybe they're together. Maybe your hands are in a different position. Now relax your chin towards your chest just ever so slightly. Feel like the back of your neck is nice and long. Allow the shoulder blades to sink and melt to the ground. Soften the belly. I know we're always wanting to hold our bellies in, but soften the belly and allow for a deep breath to come into the lower lungs. And as you exhale, allow yourself to soften somewhere else. And then you can either roll to your side. We're going to come up to hands and knees, or you can rock on your spine. And just do a little bit of rocking and rolling until you can come up into hands and knees. Now, if you can't be on your hands and knees, of course, you can put a blanket under your knees as well. But you can also get a chair. And you can do this in a chair. So all we're going to do is flex the spine. And so whether you're in cat and cow and you're flexing and pointing, or sorry, flexing and arcing your back, whichever direction, you can do that seated as well. So let your legs and your knees be hip bone width apart, same thing on the ground. And you're just going to exhale in that curved position and inhale as you extend the heart forward. Now, Sat Nam is one of the mantras that means your identity, Nam, your truth of your name or your identity. So think of Sat as your true identity, Nam. Inhale Sat, exhale Nam. Inhale. Now you could go back to the other words that you used perhaps when you set your intention earlier or did the chant. And as you come into this nice flexion of the spine, and you're inhaling and exhaling, tune in for a moment and scan the body. And allow yourself to go to those places that feel really good, right? So you might find that you need to move your knees back further, or that maybe it feels better to do that flexion and hold it for a breath. So just kind of move in the way that your spine and your body are offering these suggestions. Sat Nam. And you might find as you warm the spine up, you can go a little bit faster pace. Sat, Nam. Just warming up. 3 more. Good. And then when that feels complete, you're going to rest in child pose. So child pose is either opening the knees, you can put a blanket underneath if you want, and easing back. Your knees can be together as well. If you're sitting in a chair, it's pretty easy to do this as well. You're just going to kind of relax. You could put a blanket here as well. Feel the weight of your head stretching the neck muscles. Let the back soften, and if you feel like you can release a little bit further, again, whether you're in a chair or in child pose, allow yourself to relax in. As your forehead, your third eye, the ajna center is touching either the ground or you can stack the fist. Allow that stimulation of the brow point. Eyes may be rolling towards that ajna center. And bring again, what is your intention? Bring that to the forefront of your mind. Breathe into the back body. Exhale it out. One more cycle of breath in this child pose. And then as you inhale, gently coming up, either staying in the chair, or you can stay on your heels, or you can come into a seated position. Easy seat. Good. Just shake out a little bit. Take a nice deep breath in. We're going to do a little bit more for the spine. Rest the fingers in front and the thumbs on the back of the shoulders. Take an inhale and lift the shoulders, and as you exhale, just roll the shoulder blades down the back. Good. Now inhale to the left and exhale to the right. Sat, Nam. Inhale, exhale. Keep your eyes open, but very soft. And again, you could go slower. You can speed it up. Might feel really good in the thoracic spine. Inhale, exhale. Good. Sat, Nam. Sat, Nam. Even if you say something silently to yourself, the vibration is channeling through every cell. Three more. And when that comes to a close, come center. Take a nice deep breath up. Take your arms up. Let the thumbs touch. Pull up on Mula Bandha, sex organ. Hold the breath. Lift. Squeeze. Exhale. Shake it out. Good. Shake it out. Shake it out. We're going to do a little bit more for the thoracic spine, this upper portion of the spine. You don't need your blanket, but if you want, you can have it. We're going to do kind of like puppy, so it's not quite down dog. You're going to keep your bottom up in the air, and you can either put your hands or stack your fists, or you might be able to rest your forehead on your mat or blanket. And what you want to do is just really let the upper back, that chest area, to just drop in. Drop it in as much as you can, as whatever feels comfortable. If you cannot go down to the floor to do this, then you're going to simply bring the chair, support yourself, Find that place where you can rest your head. And once again, you're just going to let that chest kind of melt. And it's almost like the thoracic spine, this place between your shoulder blades. It almost is like dropping and curving the opposite direction than how it usually curves. Take some nice deep breaths. Good. One more cycle of breath. Love that pan drum. Isn't that pretty music? Okay. One more little warm up. This is a really good one. Again, I'm kind of focused on this heart area, the upper body. This is a really good one because as you inhale and then you exhale and you drop the shoulders, as you do this, and again, with whatever pace you want to do it, it kind of squeezes out those little capillaries of the lungs that can, a lot of toxicity can get built up. So it's a good way to exhale it out. Exhalation is actually one of our elimination channels. There's 5 elimination channels. If you want, speed it up. Satnam, 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 right? Exhale, exhale, exhale. Or go slower, go at your own pace. If there's ever a time that you can't do something, you just close your eyes and imagine that you're doing it. Your cells and body won't know the difference. 3 more. Inhale, hold it up. Pull up on sex organ, rectum, lower belly, hara area. Hold it, lift, and exhale. Ah, good. Shake it out a little bit. Beautiful. Find another place to sit comfortably. Change it to a seated position, or if you're not using your chair, go back to your chair maybe. All right. So after doing some of those shoulder shrugs, it's really nice to just allow the neck to stretch. Your hands can be wherever feels comfortable. And it's very common just to let the chin kind of sweep around the chest and maybe up and over. You can do a circle like this several times and then reverse it. And I would invite you to maybe even explore, just let the chin kind of move in its own design. And by doing that, sometimes you find that little teeny kink in the neck or this little tight spot where you're like, oh, wow, I didn't even know that was tight. And if that happens, it's a great opportunity to maybe just hold that stretch and take some nice deep breaths and work it out a little bit more. Inhaling, exhaling. Good. Take a few breaths and complete that. And come into that place of gratitude, like, oh my goodness, look at how much I can look around and see my world. And if your eyes are closed, begin to open them softly. And just as you're moving your head, notice the room you're in. Notice the colors and the shapes, and maybe you can see with new eyes. Good. So now let's go ahead and gently, we're going to come up into standing, but we're going to do it with a forward fold. So however you want to do that, right? For some people, this needs to happen. For some people, you might do this, right? So however you want to come into this position, if you're seated in a chair, you would do the same thing, right? You just kind of lift your tush, maybe put your forearms on your thighs. Find a place where you can now drop and release the head. If you feel like your back is strong enough to be able to release the arms, you can do that too. And you're just going to take those nice deep breaths and maybe sway. You might straighten your knees or bend them a little bit more. Or breathe in and expand your chest and drop it in a little bit more. But just kind of find some ways to welcome in this particular stretch, if you will. It can be a forward fold, is also a pose, asana. And then we're going to inhale and gently walk up. If you want to come up flat back, you can do that, or you can roll up. Good. And then roll the shoulders. Good. Kind of shake things out a little bit. Beautiful. Take some nice deep breaths, just taking the arms up and exhaling and rolling down. And inhale, roll up. Arms up, feel a little bit more energized. Exhale, roll down or flat back down. Inhale, one more time. Exhale, release. It's good to make sound. Inhale, stay up here. Bring your legs together. Extend your arms way up to the sky. Good. Pull up on that Mula Bandha, lower chakra. Good. Kind of feel the warmth in your belly. Good. Let it move up into the heart. Good. Take another nice deep breath. Maybe lift up on the balls of the feet. Exhale, sigh it out. Good. Shake it out. Beautiful. Okay, let's do a little bit with balancing poses. I kind of find that balancing poses are getting forgotten a little bit, I'm finding. So I used to always be like, you know what, when you're outside and you just pretend like you're on a curb and you're just kind of like walking on the curb or something. All right, so if you want, you could use a chair. Again, if you feel like you need a little bit more stability, you can always hold on to the side of a chair. If you can also put your hands on your hips. So what you're going to do is just kind of bring that right heel up and just move your hip a little bit. Get a little bit of warmth in that hip. Good. Take a nice deep breath. Remember why you're here. Switch legs. Just kind of like, right? Have a little fun. Oh my gosh, does anybody have a Halloween costume? My sister's a bumblebee. She's a queen bee. and Bill is the beekeeper. It's a cute outfit, a cute costume. Okay, so we just warmed up this right leg. So now lift up nice and tall. You can keep the ball of your foot still on the ground if you want. You could also extend your arms up. You could hold on to that chair if you want. And then if you can, start to come into tree pose. And maybe you can even pick up that foot and press it into the inner thigh. When you do that, press the foot into the inner thigh and the inner thigh into the foot. So there's this pressure that kind of holds that a little bit more sturdy and secure. Good. And then find whatever arm position. I know I'm kind of cut off here with the computer, but it doesn't matter what I'm doing. It matters what you're feeling and what you're experiencing. Good. Take another nice deep breath. Lift up. Exhale, hands on hips. Bring your leg in front. Extend out your heel if you can. And lower it down. Breathe out. Sat Nam. Shake it out. Good. Find your placement so you can do the other leg. Decide, where is my leg going to go? How can I support it? What's my focus? Am I having fun with this? Am I putting too much pressure on myself? Is one leg different than the other? Notice your thoughts. You can come into Anjali Mudra. Whatever arm position feels good. Sway like a tree. Gently fall if you do. Good. Take one more nice deep breath. Exhale, bring your hands down to the hips or waist. Bring your knee forward. Take an inhale, extend out the heel. Lean back a little bit, that will help. And then exhale and lower down. Good, shake it out. Good. So one of my favorite teachers, he used to have us laugh. And he said, Sada Simran, he said every day you got to laugh and sweat and move. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to laugh. So take a nice deep breath in and then exhale. You're going to be just laughing. Inhale. One more inhale. Oh my gosh. People will either come into the room where you're at or they're going to leave. Maybe your pets are like, what's going on? All right. So every day you could do that. You could laugh every day like that. All right. So take a nice deep breath in. Legs can be apart. They can be together. Doesn't really matter. Take another nice deep breath in. If you can, come up on the balls of your feet. Hold it. You're strong. Hold the legs together. And then exhale and lower it down. Open the legs nice and wide. You probably did this next one when you were in like junior high or something in phys ed class. But this is really good. It's part of the life nerve. And it really, really kind of gets things warmed up a little bit more. We're going to do a little bit more and then we're going to rest. I promise. You're like, I signed up for iREST. Why are we doing all this hard work? Okay, so you're going to inhale. Your legs are comfortably apart, but your legs are also strong, right? So they're strong and solid and supportive, especially in this wider leg. And your inner thighs are almost like squeezing together. Your arms are also extended. They're nice and strong as well, but they're not so tight that you're stressed out. You're going to just kind of relax. Take a nice inhale. And when you exhale, you're going to move to the right with your left arm. And then you're going to inhale back to center, and you're going to do the other side. Now, maybe your range of motion is right here. That's okay. We're doing a lot of things. We're twisting, we're moving. So you got to kind of find what feels good to you. But the other thing is that as you continue to exhale and inhale, sat, nam, you might find that your range of motion increases, or your speed, your pace maybe increases, but the integrity of the movement is still there. Your legs are still strong. You're breathing. Notice what you look when you move. If you can, just keep the core engaged. So this is a lot going on with the abdomen area as well as the back, the glutes. It's kind of that nice overall movement that keeps us young and vital and keeps that blood flowing and the nervous system glowing. Good. Sat, nam, sat, nam, sat, nam, sat, nam. 3 more. Big breath in. Last one. And then when that's complete, be right there as the star that you are. And then exhale, release. Good. Shake it out a little bit. Beautiful. Move the ankles, move the feet, move the head. Good. And then hug. Hug, hug, hug. Appreciate yourself, even if it's just this brief moment. Beautiful. And release down. So we're going to come back down onto our backs, and you can do that however you wish. Maybe you roll down, maybe you lay down on a sofa, maybe you sit in a chair if you'd like. We're going to do the deep relaxation from the iREST. So find that place. And if you want, you can cover yourself up or put your socks on. And they say that Shavasana is the most important pose. And of course, they're all important. All the asanas, all the breath work, everything. But sometimes in the Western society, we just roll up our mat and we're out the door. And what I'm finding, especially the older I get, is that the more stressful life is that this iREST practice is the most important thing as far as recalibrating the nervous system and giving our bodies the rest it needs, the space it needs to be able to stay healthy and to process emotions and to feel supported from the earth, for instance. So once you get yourself all situated, allow yourself to focus on your breath for a moment and notice where the breath travels to, including where the breath travels from to your lungs or to the cells of your body, or maybe it's a beautiful color that you're breathing in. And then with your exhale, that breath is inviting to come from you back into the ethers, the universe. And bring your attention to the follicles of your hair and feel each hair, each follicle open and relaxed. And notice how that travels through the scalp opening, scalp clear, traveling around the ears and inside the ear canal, opening, clear, and moving into the orbs of the eyes. Eyes rolling back, jaw opening, clear, open, channels of light from the eyes and the mouth and the ears, and light traveling from the tips of your hair throughout your brain, light traveling all around, down through the neck and throat, Relaxation flowing out the sides of the shoulders. Shoulders open and clear. Traveling down the spine and back up the spine. Light traveling up and down the spine. Each vertebrae relaxing, taking in more light. The space between the vertebrae open, a clear channel of light. Light flowing through the spine, out the shoulders and down the arms. Openness in the palms. Light traveling through the fingertips. Light traveling up and down the spine and around the pelvis and down through the thighs. Each thigh bone open, a clear channel as light travels through. Into the knees, the knee bones, the backs of the knees, the sides, and down through the calves, the bones of the calves in front, a channel of light. Calf muscles softening, falling to the earth. And into the feet through the beautiful circumference of ankles. Each of the bones in the feet flowing like rivers down through the toes, light sparkling all around, through, in the feet. Each toe sparkling. Whole body, a channel of light. Sparkling, brilliant light, bathing the body in healing energy. Know you are loved. Know that all is well. What other reassurance can you give yourself? A reminder of your truth. Take a moment to thank your body and thank your brilliant mind and the fact that you can feel all kinds of emotions that guide you. Thank the earth that is underneath you. And the sky above you. And the love within you. Wiggle your fingers and toes, and if you can, bring the soles of your feet together, letting your knees fall out, and rub your feet together. And then if you want, you can do a cat stretch, which is just simply bringing one knee up and over the body, a little twist. And then the other side. You could do that a few times. And when you're ready, just roll to your side and rest on your side for a moment. And bring yourself up into a seated position. Good. Well, thank you so much for being here and taking care of yourself in this way and up-leveling yourself in this way with love and light. We're going to do 3 ah-ohms. So it's ah, om, the primal sounds. So take a nice deep breath in. Inhale, exhale. Namaste.